All right, here's some homework help. So this is Eureka Math, Lesson 12, Problem Set, question number 2. So first, actually, let me just go ahead and read the lesson summary. So what you should have gotten out of today's lesson. Lesson summary. A double number line is representation of a ratio relationship using a pair of parallel number lines. Yes. One number line is drawn above the other so that the zeros of each number line are aligned directly with each other. Each ratio in a ratio relationship is represented on the double number line by always plotting the first entry of the ratio on one of the number lines and plotting the second entry on the other number line so that the second entry is aligned with the first entry. So that's what I taught you guys today. So lesson summary, did you get that? Yes, because I saw all of you walk out with your double number line. So that was what I was supposed to teach you today. So now this is kind of an application problem. It is, can you use a double number line to solve this problem? So again, I took this problem and I wrote it on paper so it's easier for me to solve. This is the part where I think kids get confused. It's like, how do I solve this word problem with the double number line? So since we know we're going to use a double number line, I'm just going to go ahead and make that double number line. Because, like, for a fact, that's coming up in this lesson because that's the whole point of the lesson. So just know that you're looking for something to go on this double number line. So now let's read it. Frank, the first time, let's just read it and I'll box some information and then we'll try to make sense of it. Frank has been driving at a constant speed for 3 hours. So 3 hours seems to be important. During which time he traveled 195 miles. So in 3 hours, he traveled 195 miles. Frank would like to know how long it will take him to complete the remaining 450 miles. Assuming he maintains the same constant speed, help Frank determine how long the remainder of the trip will take. Include a table to support your answer. So I'm just trying to make sense of this. So there's this dude named Frank, and he's driving, and he's been driving for 3 hours. And during that 3 hours, he traveled 195 miles. And it seems like it says it will take him to complete the remaining so the remaining, that means in addition to this, so this plus this, because it's remaining, to assume. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to find out what the total amount of distance, the total amount he's traveling. So I'm going to add the amount he has already traveled, 195 miles, plus the amount he's going to travel after this. So I'm just going to find out what that number is. So 5 plus 5 is 10, carry the 1. 9 plus 5 is 14, plus 1 is 15, carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 4 is 6. So he's trying to travel 650 miles in total. So that's what this is saying. So I'm just going to mark one of these hours because that's representing how long it takes him. And this one's going to be miles. So again, for the first ratio, I know in 3 hours he has traveled 195 miles. And I know ultimately at the end of the trip altogether, because this amount of trip plus the 455 altogether, he's going to end up being 650 miles. So that's where I want to head. But let's just actually use this information and use skip counting to see how close we can get to this number. So first, counting by threes is easy. 6, 9, 12. So on the top, I'm just counting by 3. So that's 3 hours at a time. And on the bottom, I'm going to count by 195. So I'm just do that math right here. 195 plus 195. 18 plus 119. 390. So this is 390. Again, I'm trying to get to 650, so I gotta keep going. So I'm gonna take the 390 and I'm gonna add the 195. sorry, 0 plus 5 is 5. 9 plus 9 is 18. Carry the 1. 4, 5. So 585. So that's where we're at. So again, I'm going to keep going. So let's see. 585. Oops, that is not 585. 585 plus 195. 780. So again, we know in total trip it's gonna be 650. Right now, we know that he can travel 195 in 3 hours. So we just skip counted by 3. So right now we know it's gonna be longer than 6 hours. It's gonna be longer than 9 hours because this is the number we're looking for. And as we can look, that number 650 is going to fit somewhere in between here, in between the 585 and the 780. So we have to figure out how do we get to that 650. And I'm just going to tell you right off the top of my head, like I can't do that math in my head to figure out every 3 hours. So I think what I need to do is I need to go ahead and I need to break down from the 3 hour mark, because right now we're skip counting by 3, so we're skipping for every 3 hours here. So I need to figure out how far does it take this dude Frank to travel in 1 hour. So I'm gonna use a ratio table for that. So I did the double number line and I know about where it's gonna be, but I'm gonna use a ratio table. And then this is gonna represent the hours and this is gonna represent the miles. And then I'm gonna like leave some space. So I'm going to do the 3 on bottom. So 3, 195. And I know for a fact that 3 can be divided by 3. You could divide it by 2, but you're going to get a weird number. So I'm going to say let's divide 3 by 3. So 3 divided by 3 equals 1. So if I divide this by 3, I also have to always divide this side by 3 as well. So 195 divided by 3. 3 fits inside of 19 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18. 19 minus 18 is 1. You bring down the 5. 3 fits inside of 15 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. 15 minus 3. Wait, that is wrong. 3 fits inside of 15 5 times. I'm sorry, guys. As I'm always tired. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 minus 15 is 0. So 65. So this would be 65. So if I divided that by 3. So let's see. So I know, I'm going to make this number line a little bit bigger so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. So I know in 1 hour, Frank traveled 65 hours. And I also know that since at 9 hours, he's going to travel 585. I just need to add all the way up until I get to the 650. So I'm going to get another paper. I'm going to continue this math to try to make sense of this. So I'm going to do another double number line and see if that helps me make some more sense of this. And again, I'm drawing miles up here. Or sorry, not miles. Hours up here. And then miles is down here. And I'm going to leave where I left off. I left off where it said 9 for 9 hours. He would travel 585 miles. And then I want to remind you that we're trying to figure out how long it takes him to get to the 650 mile mark. That's our goal. So if we're trying to get here, we got to figure out what information we can use. So I'm going to use this information. I know for every 1 hour he travels 65 miles. And I know that because for 3 hours it takes him 100. In 3 hours he travels 195 miles. If I divide 3 by 3 and I figure out what 1 hour is, and I take 195 and I divide it by 3, I figure out how many miles he's traveling in that 1 hour. So now I'm just going to add on 1 hour at a time. So 9 plus 1 is 10. And then here I'm adding the 65. So I'm going to go 585 plus 65. 1415. I found it. So 650. Oh, I gave you guys the answer on accident today. You know what? I'm going to say I gave you the answer on accident today. You're welcome. Go ahead and still make sure you write an answer to the question. You write your answer in a complete sentence. If you have questions, please ask them below. Try to do this next one by yourself. I believe in you guys. Have a great evening. Bye.